4. Meats to avoid after 60, and 4. To eat more often. A practical, no-nonsense nutrition playbook for older adults. Think you already know which meats are safe after 60. Think again. As the original Vietnamese guide argued, many older adults still eat like they did at 30, often without realizing that certain products can quietly raise blood pressure, stoke inflammation, strain the kidneys, and even nudge up cancer risk. This English edition faithfully adapts that guide. We'll count down the 4 worst meats to avoid, then the 4 best meats to put on regular rotation, with plain English reasons, cooking tips, and weekly swaps. You can start today. Read through to the end. One everyday meat in the avoid list is linked with markedly higher heart risk in older adults, yet many people still eat it several times a week. Why you shouldn't eat meat the way you always did after 60. From your 60s onward, arteries become less elastic, salt and sugar handling worsens, kidneys and liver are more sensitive to chemical additives, and bone density and muscle mass trend downward. That means the same meat can behave very differently in a 70-year-old body compared with a 30-year-old one, especially when you factor in how it's processed, deep-fried, ultra-lean, cured with nitrites, pumped with phosphates, and what's added: excess sodium, sugars, flavorings, preservatives. The goal isn't to quit meat. It's to choose the right meats, from the right sources, cooked the right way, so you protect your heart, brain, bones, and independence. Part 1. 4 meats to avoid. From less bad to worst. 4. Standard pork sausage. Processed, cured links. Why it's a problem. Most supermarket sausages rely on nitrites/nitrates to preserve color and inhibit bacteria. During high heat cooking and digestion, these compounds can form nitrosamines, which are strongly associated with DNA damage. Sausage is also very salty and high in saturated fat, pushing blood pressure upward and loading the kidneys. In older adults, whose detox capacity is already reduced, those hits add up bite by bite. What people notice over time: higher BP readings, puffier ankles, worsening lipids, and a general inflamed feeling. Smarter swap. If you crave that flavor, make a DIY herb sausage from lean ground turkey or chicken, no preservatives. Or simply shift to fresh, unprocessed cuts you season yourself. Read labels and skip nitrite/nitrate whenever possible. 3. Deli meats. Ham, bologna, turkey slices, roast beef, cold cuts. Why it's a problem? These are ultra-processed by design, typically salt-pumped, sweetened, and loaded with phosphates, flavorings, and preservatives, especially sodium nitrite. Nitrite can react with amino acids to form nitrosamines. Meanwhile, the salt plus phosphate combo raises blood pressure and stresses kidneys, and hidden sugars drive abdominal fat and insulin spikes. Regular intake in older adults is linked with higher rates of cardiovascular issues and overall mortality. It's also associated with cognitive decline via mere systemic inflammation and silent micro-strokes. Why it sneaks in. It's convenient. Open the pack and eat, so it creeps into breakfast and lunch. Smarter swap. Roast your own fresh chicken breast, turkey breast, or beef top round. At home, chill and slice for sandwiches. You get the same convenience without the industrial chemical cocktail. Use within a few days. 2. Fried chicken, especially fast food. Why it's a problem. The chicken itself isn't the villain. It's deep frying in cheap, oxidized seed oils, the white flour coating, heavy salt, and very high heat. Together, these generate trans fat fragments, acrylamide, and advanced glycation end products. Ages. Result: widespread inflammation, damage to the vessel lining, higher blood pressure, uglier cholesterol patterns, creaky joints, and older-looking skin. Frequent fried chicken intake in people over 60 is associated with higher all-cause and heart-related mortality, with older women particularly vulnerable due to coexisting heart, kidney, or metabolic issues. Smarter swap, oven roast, or air fry with olive oil, garlic, and herbs. If you want a coating, use oat flour or almond meal instead of white flour. Pasture-raised chicken is ideal. 1. Industrial, skinless chicken breast. Ultra-lean, factory-farmed. Why it ranks worst? Supermarket chicken breast typically comes from industrial farms. Birds raised on GMO corn soy feed with routine antibiotics, sometimes legacy arsenic compounds, historically used in some markets, yielding drug-resistant bacteria contamination at non-trivial rates. That matters for older adults with weaker immunity. Nutritionally, going ultra-lean and skinless deprives you of the healthy fats required to best absorb fat-soluble vitamins D, E, and K. Over time, that can translate to drier skin, brittle hair, slower healing, and bigger glucose swings when breast meat is eaten with bread or rice. Heavy reliance on skinless chicken breast, 5 or more days per week, correlates with greater sarcopenia frailty versus a more varied protein rotation, without improving cholesterol in a meaningful way. Bottom line, this is not a ban chicken message. It's about source and variety. Smarter swap, choose free-range organic chicken, keep some skin in the diet for fat-soluble vitamins, and rotate in darker cuts, thighs, drumsticks, for heme iron, zinc, and B vitamins. Don't let skinless breast become your monocrop of protein. Part 2. 4. Meats to eat more of, from good to excellent. 4. Pasture-raised lamb. Why it helps. Compared with feedlot beef, well-raised lamb offers more omega-3s, zinc, and vitamin B12, with fewer hormones or antibiotic residues. In older adults, adding lamb a couple of times weekly is associated with a stronger grip strength and lower inflammatory markers. Omega-3s help lubricate joints and soften arteries. Zinc and B12 support red blood cell production and immune function. 2 weak points in aging. How to choose and cook. Pick cuts with modest marbling. Shoulder/leg. Roast or slow braise with rosemary, garlic, and olive oil. Trim excess fat after cooking. Serving about 3 to 4 OZs, 80 to 120 grams per meal, 2 to 3 times week. 3. Free-range duck. Why it helps. Duck delivers iron, selenium, and a stable, flavorful fat, rendered properly, and it often contains more omega-3s than typical chicken. In older adults, adding duck twice weekly has been associated with cognition benefits and lower inflammation compared with generic poultry or processed meats. Properly rendered duck fat behaves more like olive oil than like fragile seed oils, and can improve your cholesterol profile when used in place of low-quality frying oils. How to enjoy. Prioritize free-range duck. Score the skin and slow roast so the fat renders and the skin crisps. Pair with antioxidant-rich fruits, orange, cherries, or leafy greens to boost micronutrient absorption. 2. Sardines with bones and skin. Why it helps? Sardines, are the true budget superfood. Highly bioavailable calcium, vitamin D, omega-3s, and complete protein in a small, convenient package. In older adults eating sardines at least twice per week, studies show improvements in bone density and triglycerides, two levers that strongly influence fracture and heart risk. Because sardines are small and low on the food chain, they carry far less mercury than big predatory fish. How to use: choose cans in olive oil, keep bones and skin for collagen, minerals, and vitamin D. Eat straight from the tin with lemon and herbs on whole grain crackers, toss into salads, or fold through whole grain pasta. 1. Grass-fed beef liver, the king of nutrient density. Why it's excellent. Beef liver concentrates preformed vitamin A, the full B complex, especially B12, heme iron, zinc, copper, and CoQ10, nutrients older adults often lack. When eaten in modest servings, liver frequently boosts energy, sharpens memory, improves hemoglobin, and supports wound healing. How to buy and cook. Choose grass-fed/organic liver. Soak in milk or lemon to mellow the taste, then quick sauté with onion, garlic, and herbs. Don't overcook, or you'll lose texture and nutrients. Pair with leafy greens and citrus. Vitamin C helps absorb heme iron. If the flavor is new to you, blend a little liver into meatballs, chili, or stews. Important: because liver is rich in vitamin A, stick to about 3-4 ounces, 100 grams, once or twice a week, unless your clinician advises otherwise, especially if you already take a multivitamin high in vitamin A. Part 3. A 4 to 6 week transition plan. Week 1. Pantry detox and smart restock. Audit: your fridge/freezer for the sausage, deli packs, fried chicken leftovers, and trays of ultra-lean, skinless chicken breast. Restock with pasture-raised lamb, free-range duck, sardines with bones, skin, preferably in olive oil, and grass-fed beef liver. Flavor shield kit: garlic, onion, ginger, black pepper, turmeric, rosemary, lemon, apple cider vinegar, and olive oil. Acids and herbs can reduce formation of nitrosamines/ages and help you rely less on sugar salt. Week 2. Learn low-tox, high-flavor cooking. Prefer roasting, slow cooking, air frying, and light pan searing. Avoid deep fried. Quick playbook: lamb, marinate with garlic, plus rosemary plus olive oil for 2 to 4 hours. Roast 180-200 degrees, 350-400 degrees. Duck, score the skin. Slow roast, so fat renders. Use duck fat to roast vegetables instead of cheap oils. Sardines, brighten with lemon, plus parsley, plus cracked pepper. Liver, flash sauté 2 to 3 minutes. Keep it tender. Week 3. Balance your plate and hit your protein target. Aim for 25 to 30 grams protein per meal, 2 to 3 meals per day. Tailor to your plan. Plate model: 1/2 of colorful vegetables, 1/4 high-quality protein, lamb, duck, sardines, liver, 1/4 whole grain or starchy veg. Finish with a drizzle of olive oil. Rotation example: mun, herb-crusted lamb, plus roasted potatoes, plus green salad, chew, sardine toast, whole grain, plus cucumbers and tomatoes, wed, duck à l'orange, light, plus steamed broccoli sous, plant protein day, lentils, chickpeas, tofu, fry, liver and onions, sautéed spinach, plus brown rice, weekend. Mix any 2 of the good meats above. Fill the rest with seafood/eggs/plant protein. Weeks 4 through 6. Personalize and fine-tune. Track energy, sleep, digestion, joint comfort, and, if you monitor, blood pressure and glucose. Ratchet down processed meats and deep-fried foods. Ratchet up lamb, duck/sardines, liver, in a way your palate enjoys. Upgrade snacks, sardines, plus whole grain crackers, roasted veg tossed in duck fat, or hummus plus crudités instead of sausage or cold cuts. Part 4. The swap matrix, fast replacements. Old habit, hidden problem, swap to core. Benefit, ham sandwich, nitrites, salt, phosphates, hidden sugars. Home roasted chicken, turkey/beef slices, plus lettuce and tomato. Convenience without preservatives. Pan-seared sausage. Nitrosamines, saturated fat, plus salt. Herbed, ground lamb patties, light sauté. Protein, plus zinc, plus B12, great flavor. Drive-through, fried chicken. Oxidized oils. AGEs, acrylamide. Slow-roasted duck, or air-fried pasture chicken. Crisp satisfaction, minus the toxins. Skinless chicken breast every day. Too lean, poor vitamin A, D, K absorption. Monotony. Rotate sardines, liver, lamb, duck. Adds A, D, B12, iron, zinc, omega-3s. Part 5. Quick Q&A. 1. Aren't lamb and duck fatty? Shouldn't I worry about cholesterol? Portion size and cooking method matter. Roast or slow cook. Trim excess fat after cooking and keep servings to 3 to 4 hours. 80-120 SAGs. You'll gain omega-3s, iron, B12, and flavor without drowning in poor quality fat. When those meats replace fried, processed options, lipids and inflammation usually move in the right direction. 2 sardines taste fishy. Any tips? Choose olive oil-packed tins and finish with a fresh lemon, parsley and pepper. Mix into salads or spread on whole grain toast. The bone, heart, brain payoffs are worth the small learning curve. 3. Isn't liver too high in vitamin A? Respect the dose. 1,100 grams, 3-4 O's once or twice weekly is plenty for most. If you take a high A multivitamin or have a liver condition, check with your clinician. 4. I can't always find pasture-raised lamb or free-range duck. Do your best on sourcing, but remember, home-cooked fresh meat using clean methods is still a huge step up from regular deli/sausage/fried intake. 5. Should I quit meat entirely? Not necessary. The goal is quality and balance. Smart animal proteins alongside plant proteins, lentils, beans, tofu tempeh, nuts, seeds, and plenty of vegetables. Part 6. The memory hook. Drop. Processed pork sausage, nitrosamines plus salt drop, deli meats, nitrites plus sugar plus phosphates. Drop. fried chicken, oxidized oils, ages of acrylamide. Drop ultra-lean, skinless factory chicken breast, too lean, bacterial concerns. ADD, pasture-raised lamb. Omega-3s, zinc, B12. ADD, free-range duck, iron, steady fats, cognition support. ADD, sardines with bones and skin. Calcium, vitamin D, omega-3s, low mercury. ED, grass-fed beef liver, vitamin A, B12, heme iron. Cognition, the modern gerontonic. Final word, every bite is a message to your heart, brain, and bones. What lands on your plate isn't just calories. It's a biological signal that your arteries, neurons, and immune system read in real time. By pulling back on processed meats, deep-fried poultry, and the only chicken breast habit, and leaning into lamb, duck, sardines, and beef liver, you shift your body away from the trajectory of inflammation, frailty, and cognitive fog, and towards strength, clarity, and independence. Start with one simple swap at your very next meal. Stick with the plan for 4-6 weeks and watch how your energy, digestions, joints, and labs respond. Change the habit. Change the outcome. Safety note: this guide is educational and not a substitute for individualized medical advice. If you live with heart, kidney, lipid, or blood sugar conditions, or take medications that affect these, talk to your clinician or a registered dietitian before making major changes.